My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we have another edition of one of our new favorite things that we've been doing for a year. That is the drama exchange, but now with theme. That's right. We decided to add a little theme to the drama exchange.
We've been doing it enough that now we have to have themes.
Yeah, exactly. We can't just let it be all willy-nilly anymore. Now they need to be like a purpose, to make it make sense. And since it is September, and even though we're old and don't go to school, lots of people...
Amanda does.
Oh, that's right, Amanda does go to school. That's incorrect.
Starting this week.
We're still old, but only one of us goes to school. We decided to go with...
one of us who has kids who go to school.
That's true. Listen,
wow.
I was going to say that. Okay. One of us goes to school and also has kids who go to school, and a lot of people are going to school. Gosh, I feel. Listen, I came to have a good time, and honestly, I'm feeling real attacked right now.
Really attacking now.
School vibes, man. School vibes.
You know what? This I'm getting like a war flashback from my high school era. So we wanted to secretly give each other school-themed or school setting or school-related in some way dramas. Now, we can't do this. We used to do it where one of us would take the helm, but that's not enough secrecy for us. So we enlisted a good friend of the show, Joy. Thank you, Joy, for doing this for us, who ran the drama exchange Secret Santa situation. She was very
did it really well.
She was
like a professor, like a very strict teacher.
Listen, she was
like,
running
wait a minute, you have not picked the drama yet.
Yeah, she was running that exchange like the Marines, okay? Like, very excited. And we do appreciate it.
Very seriously.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. And what she did was she gave us each a person. We gave her a drama. She delivered the drama. And then we watched the first couple episodes of the drama, and then we got to try to figure out why that person might have picked it for us. And then the person can defend themselves if it went wrong. So the person can then come clean and admit why they did what they did. So you never know.
Also, I think what makes this a level harder is because we've been doing this, not the exchange, because we've been doing the podcast together for so long. Mm-hmm. We know each other's preferences so much and our very particular things that even when there's like something really like, oh, this is why it got picked for me, it's like, but any of the three of you could know that. Yeah. Like, it's not, it's usually not one person specific thing. So
like mine, I'm very like, oh, I'm sure it's this person. But it's also this aspect of it that's definitely this person, and this aspect that could be this person. So it could have been a red herring situation.
Yeah, and there's also no guarantee that the person who gave it to you actually ever watched the drama themselves.
That's true, so they don't know.
Yeah. So it's like, they might have just been like, the vibes of this drama felt right. So like, who knows? Like, the mystery, it's like a real mystery. Like, we can think about, like, I think I know, but I don't know, Like, I was actually, my husband always asks every day that we're recording. My husband goes, oh, what's the recording about today? And I was telling him about this, and he was like, oh, well, like, who do you think picked it? And I said a name immediately. But I was like, but I could be wrong.
And you have to understand how seriously we take this. There's no prize.
There's no prize.
There's not a single prize.
There's like,
we probably won't even like discuss these dramas like after this episode too.
Yeah. No, but like there's no prize to having picked the best drama for the person. Like if the person didn't like the drama, it's like, oh well, better luck next time. Like there's no stakes. But we're like, ooh, like I wonder who this could be.
You like stress over your like pick too. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get the best.
No, I actually did have like a week after I gave my pick, when it like the picking was over. I was like, oh shit, what if they hate it? So I've been sitting there, I was like, oh god. Like, and then I was like, wait a second, it doesn't actually matter. Like, if they hated it, who cares? Like, it was an hour of their life, it's fine. Like, it's fine, Natalia, you don't need to be stressed. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do. And so we're going to start out. I've put us in a random order that I generated a second ago because I forgot to do it before we started recording, but then I remembered. And Sky, you're going to start us off by telling us what drama you done got given and what's it about.
So the drama I was given was 20th Century Boy and Girl.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to preface. I feel like all three of you have talked about this drama before in relation to me needing to watch it. So, as far as that's concerned, and whoever, all of you are right. Like, it is a Sky drama. Whenever, and the thing is, also, we don't have strict rules for like how much of these dramas that we have to watch. Like, it's now. Whenever we did a specific one for Natalia's birthday that was BL themed, and we all agreed for that one we watched the entire drama. Like, that was something that we did.
Like, special.
Right.
Yes.
And so, like, that was a particular... And then we did a movie one. So, like, movie. Yeah, you watch the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, but as far as... You could just watch one... You could watch 10 minutes, and if it's not your jam, you can turn it, like, you can do whatever with this.
Fine.
So, I ended up watching, let's see, 20 out of 32 episodes of this.
I think
Excellent!
someone won.
Excellent!
And I will continue to watch it, but did I get distracted? Like, and I really do think that was in, like, a weekish time. And then, like, new dramas popped up and I was trying to, like, check them out and stuff, so I got distracted. And it was, like, a few weeks ago that I did all this watching. So me trying to remember, like, back to the beginning of this drama is like, okay, trying to remember what's going on. So 20th Century Boy and Girl is also sometimes called 20th Century Children. As far as the title, don't get hung. The title doesn't really pertain to any aspect of it. It could have been named better. Like, let's just be honest with the title. That's fine. It is very... So as far as how it relates to school, these people were, like, kids together. So, like, the main cast, you have 3 women. Like, in present time, you have 3 women. And then you eventually kind of see, oh, there's this guy involved as well. So they were all 4 classmates, and they were all called Bongo. Like, Bongo Clique, like Bongo Girls and Guy. Like, it was this whole thing because that was the name of the little, like, truck thing, bus thing that would come pick them up to ferry them to all their school and, like, study hall stuff. And they'd be spending a lot of time together that way. But they all were, like, best friends, despite the fact that all very different personalities. And so you do see flashbacks to when they were in school together. Yes, in classroom. So, like, that's how mine relates to school. And it might maybe even more later. But, like, you even do see, like, oh, this happened when they were in a classroom. And but it was a lot of after-school activities. It was when they were kids. Like, you kind of see these big things. I can't... Like, there are some really touching things pertaining to when they were pretty young and then a little bit older, like, classmate age. I can't tell you what, though. You have to watch it yourself. Did I cry? I sure did. But it was really sweet. I do want to say, like, this is it eventually is a romance situation. But as far as what is the huge love line of this, it's friendships. Like, it really... Like, there was this lovely scene, and I think it was probably later on, and this isn't ruining anything. There's a lovely scene where one of the women was going through something, and she didn't know that her 2 friends were going to come essentially pick her up from this happening. And they do, and it might have been drizzling or something. There was an umbrella. So there was essentially a 3... girlfriend umbrella, like, hug scene. It was the sweetest thing. Like, and it kind of encapsulated their relationship pretty well. And they all go through just a variety of things, be it like a medical situation or a breakup, just all these things. You see them being there for each other. In that way, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, Hospital Playlist, just a smidge, as far as, like, I loved the depth of the relationships and how much we saw the friendship support in so many different avenues, despite being very, like, different occupations and stuff. It's not like they're all doing the exact same thing in life, but they still would make time, and even if it would put their occupation a little bit on the line, depending on which character it was, they would still, nope, I'm gonna go support my friend who's in the hospital. Like, I'm gonna go do the thing. And they wouldn't even really regret it that much. Like, nope, I had to go support her. That's too bad. Even if someone took pictures and it got sketchy, too bad. Like, I was gonna be there. So yeah, it's a lot of throwback stuff. There was like another character that they were classmates with that pops up that's like a doctor situation. He's very funny. He's very silly. But yeah, so another bonus as far as why this was picked for me. The main girl character, Sa Jinjin is the character name, played by Han Yi-sul. She was a idol group, like, fan. So she would always, and that she had a specific bias in the group. And that reminded me of, and I can't remember which reply it was, but the reply that had, you know, the lead girl. Yeah. So that felt very, love that. Very fun. You know, you see her not chasing after the group, but always, like, waiting at this specific restaurant, cafe place to see them coming and going and stuff. Who plays the group? Mostly the actual group K&K is this fictitious group.
Love it. I love
so
when
I was
they
like,
do that.
I was losing my mind at the outfits. And then the fact that the specific bias that she had is played by Soham from Semantic Error. So I was just, and so, like, he pops up, he actually has, like, some lines when he's younger. And so, and it was so funny, because at that point in time, it was very, what did idol guys wear? Just imagine super early BTS. That's what was cool for literally every male idol at the time. So Soham's character, like, meets up with his family for a dinner moment, and it's like, is he wearing a large chain and, like, oversized clothes? It was just like, what is going on? It was very funny. But his character is an adult, and then there's a we get married situation in the present moment, which, like, I was cracking up at that because we've talked about that a lot lately. It's just really funny. I really do. I appreciate the depth of the friendships. The comedy is always on point. There's even the main, like, couple that happens. Bickery, like, it's the bickery stuff.
Which
and
you do enjoy.
And when I say, like, siblings, I don't mean that in an icky. It's more like they know each other very well, and so they bicker on that level of, like, familiarity. Let's put it that way. But then it's like, oh, attraction. Oh no, attraction.
Oh no.
Oh no. I mean, all the acting's lovely. I probably would have just, I will be finishing it soon. Like, I really, really enjoy it. Trying to think if there was anything else in particular. The Soham thing that really made me chuckle a lot. But yeah, it is a Sky drama, but and that's the thing. I feel like all three of you have watched this and have even mentioned, like, oh yeah, you should, like, if one of you brings up, yeah, I should watch it, like, everyone else was, like, yeah, she should, like, a chorus of agreed. That is a Sky drama.
Absolutely,
she should watch it.
Absolutely, yes.
So I do not have a solid guess individually whatsoever for this.
Don't worry, that'll come after we're all done. Someone will fess up to having given it to you.
I lose on that aspect of the game. Like, but 10 out of 10, really enjoying it. Highly recommend. Like, I'm not saying it's a show for, like, literally everybody, because there's some people that don't like romance or whatever. So, like, Yeah, but if you do like the friendship vibes, and the friendships do take up a lot of screen time. So if you're really only for romance, I wouldn't really come here. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, the romance is really cute, but that's not the main point of the show.
Yeah.
You get much more screen time as far as the friendship relationship.
Even with the romance, like, he's part of the friend group, right? So, like,
right.
It's the friendship is the core thing there, right?
So
someone having some strong opinions about it, Amanda. Interesting.
Yeah, you can set the scoop for me. Like, I don't.
Curious.
So thank you to everyone involved with that. Because you all have recommended that I watch it before anyway, so it's great.
Okay, so me, I
Jessie.
was gifted the 2022 K-drama Week Hero Class 1, which definitely on paper looks like a Jessie drama. I'm not saying it's not a Jessie drama, but like, I think if you like looked at it, you'd be like, yeah, I understand why someone would pick this for Jessie.
This seems on the vibe, you know?
This seems like, if you're just like looking at a list of like school dramas, this would be the one that you would pick out of every other school drama. So I get that, and I appreciate that like sentiment, whoever picked this for me. I have my guess, but I'll guess in a bit. But so this drama is actually pretty short. It's 8 episodes long, and the episodes are, I would say, on average max out about like 45 minutes long. So it's a really short one. So I only watched 3 episodes of it to kind of get that like almost halfway, but not really halfway, to kind of figure out what was going on. I will say that while I really enjoyed everything I watched, and this is like on MDL, it's very, very popular, very highly rated. Not that that means anything because it's MDL, but like it,
we love MDL for its usefulness, but its rating systems.
But like out of 44,500 users, it's at a 9.1, which is
wildly high for MDL. I'll be real.
Yeah.
I will say that like the big thing that happens in this drama is bullying, and bullying is really hard for me to watch on screen. Like, there's not a lot of things that I can't watch, because clearly if you know anything about my horror taste, I can watch everything, but like bullying is like a little hard. So it is a little bit harder for me to watch this than other things, but I did enjoy everything that I watched. So essentially the story line is about this classroom where this kid, who is played by Park Ji-hoon, who was in, what was that one?
At a Distance, Spring is Green. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yes.
But like he was in Produce 101 and
101,
you know,
right?
Yeah, Produce 101, the series that produced 101, the K-pop group.
Yes.
He plays an introvert character who we love introverts.
Big fans over here.
On this podcast. He's like at the top of his class. He's very studious. He is praised by his teachers. He doesn't like really get in much trouble or anything, or even kind of like is even really focused on a little bit, like as much as you would expect someone to be at the top of the class who's like an introvert who does nothing but study. Like, the kid does nothing but study. He's not as bullied as you expect, but he starts to kind of get fed up with the way that the classroom is, and the culture around bullying, and the culture around like hierarchy in classrooms. And things happen, which I'm not going to say because it would be a major spoiler. Things happen and leads to him finally kind of lashing out about that. And through that, he starts to come out of his shell and makes friendships or relationships with a couple of classmates. It is very action heavy. There is full on fighting, very long fighting, like very long, like definitely had like stunt choreographers like constantly, and a lot of the actors, if you look in their bios, they've all like had like training like taekwondo and that sort of thing. So like that's a majority of the show, but he kind of like uses his like just intelligence and knowledge of like things to kind of get the upper hand a lot in a lot of the ways. Like he just like the way his mind processes things, he kind of can like figure out what people will do or the way that people are moving, and just purely based on science, and just kind of figures out. It's not like sci-fi or anything like that. I mean, it's not like a god and the best thing in the entire world, but like he kind of uses that to his advantage and kind of become someone to kind of stand up for everything that's going on in the classroom. I did enjoy it. The bullying is hard, but I did enjoy it. There's a bunch of kind of different characters and a bunch of things going on. And I really enjoyed kind of the way that they set up him, starting with his like relationships with some of the kids in his class, and kind of seeing their life, because they're all three kind of drastically different in their home lives. Because his dad is like I think it's like he might be like a softball player or something. Like I didn't really catch it, but he kept on saying he's going to like training camp or something. So it seemed like he's a sports guy. So he like kind of lives better than most, but he had lost his mom, or his mom's not around, and then you kind of see the other kid who's like doesn't have a lot of money and like spends his time like working and that sort of thing. So there are good relationships happening even with like outside of the characters, with the bullies and that sort of thing. And based on MDL comments, everybody is saying that it like lands in the terms of the entire show progressing forward. There is a second season happening potentially next year.
Yeah,
I think that like everybody
teasing it. They keep teasing it. You know?
Yeah. and like it seems like the little research I did, like kind of like as an outside thing to just kind of see what was going on with the production and stuff, everybody seemed very excited for that. So I guess it's gonna happen. I don't know when, but
yeah, I heard rumors January.
Yeah,
but who knows?
But some of the other, like Chae Hyun-wook, who was in Twinkling Watermelon, the lead in that, he's one of the friends. And then there's a good amount. Like if you watch DP, like a lot of the cast of DP is in this for some reason. I couldn't figure that out why, because the writer and the director didn't work on DP, so I don't know.
Maybe it's like a producer or something, or maybe the casting director or something.
Yeah. But I was like, wow,
the subsection of action-y people that can handle action-y stuff.
Like, maybe they were like, the casting director was like, okay, they killed it on DP, so
like, oh, this person's this person in DP. Oh, this person's just
they could look young enough. Yeah. Here's a uniform. Yeah. There you go.
That's true. I mean, like, and if you haven't watched DP, it's very like, even though you have like the main characters, it's very episodic, so it focuses on one person from the military who's gone AWOL. Essentially, that's like
the premise.
It's like Designated Pursuer or something like that. It's the actual title, and so it's like focusing on people who are going after those people who've gone AWOL in the military. So like it makes sense that there would be a lot of like people in there, because like, you know, it could be a different person, different storyline each episode. But I was like, oh, this is interesting that like it's just all DP.
The casting director was a big fan of DP. Yeah. I was like, hey, I gotta get all these people again.
Yeah. In terms of who I think picked this for me, I do know that Natalia has watched this, because I remember you talking about it on an episode, probably while we were watching. So I would like kind of assume maybe Natalia, but like also I think if you were anybody like listening to this, you could look at a
You'd
list
be like,
of
this
schools.
one might be good.
Yeah, this
yeah.
may be the one that I'm gonna pick for
Yeah,
Jessie.
school Jessie.
The overlap is
equals-
very little.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
very small overlap.
Yeah, especially if you're like, okay, now I gotta go look at what she's watched. Oh yeah, she's already watched
Exactly.
that.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's a small overlap. She's seen the glory. What are we gonna do? Yeah.
But it is actually really good. And if you can handle that stuff, it's like very like dark in that respect, but there's a lot of hope in it, even within the first 3 episodes. I definitely think you should give it a shot.
I remember when I watched it and I was telling my husband that I really enjoyed it. And he was like, oh, what's it about? And I was like, well, it's about a school where a bunch of bullies decide to suddenly start picking on the smartest guy in school, but don't know he's insane.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what it's about.
And there's like there's a story. There's storylines with a gang that like comes into a big thing. It's like an actual huge thing. But like, it's funny because like within the first episode, someone was trying to do. There was like he was trying to walk home or something like that, and there had already been this altercation on the sidewalk, and the people were still like riled up about that, and they're like kind of blocking him, and they're like deciding if they want to like mess with him too, and he's just sitting there clicking his pen because that's what he does all the time is he clicks his pen just like nonstop, click 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 click, and the one gang member was like stop, and he like got the guys that were instigating stuff to move over so he can like pass by, and he's like, you, and the gang member's like, you gotta realize your situation. That guy was gonna stab you.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question on that. Like, you have to know your situation. But he isn't, well, he is in that regard, like, I'm going to, like, kill you if you push me the wrong way. He's not a evil person. He's definitely for treatment of people. And there is a specific reason why things start to like happen and he kind of breaks. Yeah. I'm not gonna say
he is
what.
Such a good actor.
And no, like he's unbelievable.
Everything he does.
Yeah.
Like
his eyes are like those like really soft, sweet eyes. So it's even more nerving like when he does stuff because he's just like so quiet and reserved and then immediately snaps.
He's
like,
such a good
just,
eye
like,
actor.
No like it's like crazy. I mean, they're all doing really well.
It's like that fantasy historical one. I can't think of the name, but like where he has 2 roles and stuff. Like he's just so good.
Love Song for Illusion. Yeah.
And he was in Josie and Marriage Agency, Flower Crew. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
and also At a Distance Spring is Green, which I think everyone should watch. It's so good.
It's also a school thing, yeah?
It is also school themed, but who knows?
Bonus.
Maybe someone
little bonus
mention. Who knows?
But
we're about to find out if Amanda may have gotten that. Amanda, what drama did you get?
That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
No, for mine, I had to hop in the way back machine.
Oh my
all
goodness.
the way back to 2011 to watch Dream High.
Yes.
So,
mine was from 2017.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I didn't say that out loud.
that's true.
Incredible.
So, Dream High, for folks who don't know, is sort of the K-drama version of Fame from the 80s. If if you're old like us, and you might know that reference. But it's about a school where you dance and you sing and you take classes on dancing and singing. And it stars 2 PM's Taecyeon.
everyone.
Like everyone, right? It's got Bae Suzy is in it, Kim So-hyun. There's IU in a fat suit, which you're like, but she's still IU, so she's still freaking adorable. Like, they're like, oh, you're too ugly and fat.
And we're all sitting there like, no, that's still IU. Are you?
awful.
Use your eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
come on.
Nice try. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure. And then and then a pile of like adult actors as the teachers and the parents and the gangsters and all that.
Oh, so
stuff.
you have teachers and parents? Because some of those types of shows, it's like, what
like,
teachers?
No adult whatsoever, and you're like, where is everybody?
Like,
That's
all of
kind of
these
how it is in
orphans.
your class, though. They're like, where are the adults?
It's like the parents exist, but they're not around. Yeah.
They're, in some cases kind of encouraging bad behavior, and you're like, really? Is that helpful? Okay. But the premise, Susie was rich. She's not rich anymore, her character. And her dad's in debt. He's taken off because he's escaping from, gangster loan shark guys. And basically the loan shark guys are like, well, here's your choice, young woman. I think Susie was like 16 when she was doing this. And they're like, you can come, pay off your dad's debt with like sex slavery, or you can get yourself into this like school for performing arts and become a famous idol and make lots of money and pay back the debt that way. And she's like,
do you know what she should have done, though? She should have just walked herself to the police station and said, this man is trying to extort me into sexual slavery because of my parents' debt. That would have solved a lot of her problems, but you know what?
You would think, right?
That would make a good show,
We'll take your little sister who's like 10 instead of you. She's like, no, I think art school sounds good to me. And she's been trained as like an opera singer kind of thing. Like she's classically trained and all this stuff. So she's like, how hard can pop music be? And she's kind of a terrible person. Like character-wise, she's awful. She's just awful. She has moments of goodness. She likes her little sister. There are some good moments, but like in general, she brings a lot of this crap on herself, and you're like, girl, like not the sex slavery thing, obviously not that, but like
no matter how bad of a person you are, that's not really
that's not. But like when she gets into high school, she gets bullied, and they try to kind of like frame it like, isn't this terrible? She's being bullied, and you're like, but she is terrible to people, like people who want to be nice to her, and then she's terrible to them, and it causes people to turn on her, and you're like, yeah, because you can't be mean to people who are nice to you and think that's gonna go well. Like that just doesn't. Girl, come on. And then you got Tate, who is playing a like street hoodlum kind of guy who's looking after himself, and he's a pickpocket, and they kind of meet through a whole pickpocket situation, and then he rescues her from the gangsters. And then like this is like the first episode, he rescues her from gangsters in the big choreographed fight scene, and then she like throws a shoe to save him back kind of thing in a situation.
It's really
at that moment I was like,
yeah,
if that's what this show was these two as like little runaway hood rats, like getting into like fights and stuff, I'd be really into that show.
What West Side Story-esque fights? Yeah.
Just like them snapping.
Did I just approve Dream High for everybody?
Listen, I love that we all just went into the same headspace and immediately were like, a jet. We're old, guys.
Oh gosh. And her former best friend hates her guts now. She's her biggest rival because she was terrible to her former best friend. She was terrible to her when they were friends, and then she was more terrible to her later. Like, just kept piling on the terrible. And then there's Kim Soo-hyun's character. He's like a bumpkin from the country. Who appears to have...
I haven't seen it. It's always just funny when people describe this show.
Seriously,
that is his character.
Seriously, his character.
So, it's a show. And I watched it. I watched about 2.5 episodes, and then I paused it for whatever reason. And I was like, I don't think I'll go back. And then it was like, we had sort of talked about maybe 4 episodes. So I was like, I put it on in the background while I was doing schoolwork today. And so I was kind of like keeping an eye on it and stuff. I was glad I did, because the point where I stopped it on episode 3, I was like, I hate Susie's character with a fiery passion, and I just want to punch her in the face. And then it was like, oh, no. Okay, that part that I saw was like her imagining what would happen if she doesn't do this thing she finds embarrassing. So she will do the thing that's embarrassing so that the bad stuff. I was like, okay.
That's something K-dramas are great at, doing the whole like bait and switch. You think something actually happened, but it actually is just like a mind experiment. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. I don't know that I'll keep watching it, because I might keep putting it on in the background when I do stuff, just to see where it goes and whatnot. And IU is adorable in this. Like, fat suit aside, she's very cute.
She's a great character.
You know, and but it's a little ick when you realize, when you're doing the math and stuff, and you realize it's like they're all high school students. Cool. But you've got 16-year-old Susie and a couple of men in their 20s playing her high school love triangle, and you're like, did we have
it was 2011. It was a different time,
and like they were very clearly like just pulling from JYP. So like,
very clearly pulling from JYP.
The drama.
Yeah, JYP's in the Young K's in the drama. Like everybody is in this drama.
Everybody. Yeah, and then like episode 4, there's a whole. They all wind up in a situation where they're all living in the home of one of the teachers, because like
reasons,
and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his sister, like, it's his and his sister's house, and his sister's not happy about it until the handsome young men. Those handsome young high
2011. It was 2011.
Which was sketchy back then too. It was just more common in dramas to be sketchy.
You still saw it all the time.
She's like a mid-30s. You know, like, it's not like she's some young 20 kind of. No, this is like a full-on Ajima situation.
Yikes!
She's like, let's bring out the wine at dinner. They're all like, we're like,
yikes! No,
let's not do that.
So,
let's do anything but that.
That's a lot of
not anything.
Kind of
let's be a normal adult in charge of children.
What if we did that? So I would have really liked if, and maybe it does later, I kind of doubt it, but the younger sister is like my favorite character. The actress is adorable, and she has the greatest like facial expressions. Like she just can stare, like she stares these guys down with like death stare. Like you can see the lasers pop out of her eyeballs to like Fry take in the kitchen, and he's like, okay, bye now. Like, I gotta go. So I would like to see a little bit more of her, like hanging out with the kids, or maybe the sister, you know, teacher's sister, sort of taking her under her wing and like mothering her or aunting her kind of thing. But it is what it is. Like the school situation is not the one teacher, like the first day at dance class, she says today is barefoot dance class, and she dumps a 1,000 tacks on the floor and says, you've got 5 minutes to get all the tacks. If you don't, they'll be in your feet. Go. What does that have to do with dance? I took 10 years in dance.
That was never a thing.
Never did that. That was not a thing that we did. That
was nothing anyone does.
No, that's not a thing. So
that's how you get sued.
Like, it was very questionable teaching. So, yeah, it is a show, and I definitely see why some people would really enjoy it, and why it, especially at the time, with all of these actors in it. And I mean, and Susie, right? Like, people love her, and so they love to watch her in anything, right? So it doesn't matter whether the vehicle is great. If Susie's in it, people are going to watch it, because
that's true.
Susie.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's it, yeah. And I think my initial thought, and I think I will stick with it, but I think it was a Natalia pick because I feel like Natalia talks about Dream High a lot.
Who knows?
But it's also like an idol high school, you know, training situation, which really screams Sky. And it's Taekyeon and Susie, which is definitely a Jessie kind of situation. So, you know,
it could really be any of us at all the times.
It could very easily go any way, you know, because I'm also
curious
other things that I'm like, oh, I bet Natalia picked that for that person. So she probably didn't pick that.
You're
for
trying
me.
to piece it together.
The mystery will continue until after.
I don't think. And maybe Joy just gave Natalia everybody's name, and we're all like, "Hey,
that'd be funny."
That would actually be the funniest gaffe of them all. But no, I only
we doubt
gave
it.
one drama title, not 3. So, which one? We'll find out after I'm done telling you about the drama that was picked for me, I guess. Now, any one of them could have picked this drama and literally any one of our longtime viewers could have picked this drama for me because everything about this drama is Natalia bait. Okay? Everything about it is like tailor-made for Natalia, and it has been on my list since it came out to watch, and I just keep getting distracted and never watched it. And that is the 2018 drama My Strange Hero, which stars Yoo Sung-ho, which I'm well known as liking. It has Jo Boa, who is one of my favorite comedic actresses, and the real pièce de résistance is it has Kwak Do-yeon playing the villain, and that alone is enough. So the basic premise is Yoo Sung-ho's character, back when he was in high school, was wrongfully convicted by his school of bullying Kwak Do-yeon's character, okay? And the only witness who didn't see it but overheard it was his girlfriend at the time, Jo Boa, played by Jo Boa's character. And she just said what she heard, which really made him seem like he did it, okay? And then he could not believe that she didn't believe him. That it's like ruined his life. He got kicked out of school, so he never graduated from high school. And he just works with 2 of his friends, like doing basically like random tasks for people. So like the first time you're introduced to him, he's breaking up a wedding by pretending to be the bride's secret boyfriend to like run away with her. Because he was like hired to like do this. But like he always feels really guilty because his mom has never really gotten over the fact that he never graduated high school and all this happened when she knows that he wasn't the type of guy to do it because he was well known for being just a really nice, justice-loving guy. So meanwhile, Jo Boa's character has become a teacher and is working at the same high school that they had attended. But she's like not a permanent teacher. And she's also the school counselor because she needs money because her grandmother who raised her is in a nursing home. And she needs to pay for that nursing home, and she got scammed out of money, whatever. And so she then, the way that you're introduced to her is that she is trying to stop this student who's having a psychotic breakdown over like being pressured to do well at school from killing himself, and then accidentally falls in the river off the bridge. And then Yoo Sung-ho, who was just in the park being the righteous, loving guy that he is, dives in and saves her, not realizing it's his ex-girlfriend who got him kicked out of school. Meanwhile, Kwak Do-yeon returns from overseas because his mom is like the CEO of this education company, like this it's a private school. And he's taking over this private school. And my favorite part about this is that you're led to believe that, like, he's so evil. And, like, he's a bad guy, okay? Like, he's delightfully bad. But, like, he's not necessarily wrong with what he's doing at the school. which is so all of like the students who don't do well are all in like one class that has like no funding, whereas all the better students get all the money. So he's like, well, I'm going to set up a program to divert more funding to these non-academically gifted students to put them in like alternate education streams, so like to get them into like the trades or like the arts or, you know, other things that aren't academics. And people are like, oh, like people are gonna be so like, ooh, people are gonna say this isn't fair and all this, and I'm like, but he's right though, like that's actually a good thing to but anyway, due to all
you're
of
like
this,
he's not wrong,
he's not incorrect. Like, he's bad, but he's not incorrect about this one thing that he's doing that everyone is criticizing him for. But anyway, the whole premise then goes into, due to like a PR stunt of him having saved this teacher falling off the bridge, they're like, we're gonna allow you at 28 years old to come back and finish your high school diploma at the school that kicked you out by the guy who you bullied has forgiven you. And so like that's like the basic premise of him being like, oh, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get revenge. But then he's like too nice of a guy that he just like never gets to the getting revenge part of his plan. So like I watched 6 episodes. I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm loving it. And as so far, like, every time you think he's about to, like, get revenge, he gets sidelined by, like, something else happening. It is delightful. It is very much, like, sort of an odd, like, it's an odd, I struggle to, like, classify it in a genre, because, like, there are comedic moments, but it's also incredibly serious at the same time. But the premise is so absurd, like, no, a 28-year-old wouldn't go back to high school. He would just get a GED. Like, you can just go to night class for that.
At that point,
you know what I mean? Like, he would have, any sane person would have already done that by 28, you know, because he's not stupid. He's just, like, doing other stuff. But, like, he would, like, with his character, he would have just done it by now. But, and, like, the premise of, like, this is the first show that I've ever seen that is hinting at a teacher-student relationship that's not completely wrong. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, they were dating in high school. Like, this is absurd that he's even a student at this school. But I'm really liking it. Kwak Dong-yeon, I love him as a villain.
I love him. He's
my phone screen. Like, I love him. And he's so evil. He is correct at what he's doing at the school, but he's still evil. I'm sure he'll, like, they'll turn it into something bad. But, like, as presented, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna give the opportunity for kids who don't do well in school to go to trade school. What's the problem here? Like, what am I missing? What am I missing here that everyone's so open arms about?
Like,
yeah, you need plumbers and carpenters too, you know? So anyway, so that whole thing, I'm just sitting there like, huh. Like, why are we, you know what? It's fine. This is a Korean show. Apparently, like, being a plumber is the worst thing you can do if you're Korean, I guess. But it's really nice. It's presenting, like, there's, like, a bunch of actors in it who I'm like, oh, shit, they're in this? Like, the evil mom the evil guy's evil mom is played by Kim Yo-jin, who's just great. And it's also got, like, you know, it's got the regular cast of characters, like the character actors that you always see. Like, it's got Kim Kwang-gyu, like the bald guy that's in everything. He's there.
He's in everything.
It's got Park Hyung-hee playing, like, another teacher. She's the girl that's, like, the really interesting face who always plays, like, the comedic, in air quotes, ugly friend. She's not ugly. They never are. It has Yoo Sun-ho as, like, a little fetus in this, like, and he didn't hit it big till after this. So it's like, it's got everyone, okay? It's got them all. And I'm really genuinely enjoying this. It also has a martial arts director listed, so it's like, he'd be doing some kicking. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think a lot of people, it has the vibe that a lot of people would really enjoy. You know what I mean? And as to who could pick it, as I said, this show is perfect Natalia bait, which means anyone could have. But when my husband asked, I did immediately say Sky for two reasons. One, because Sky would know that this was perfect for me. But two, because Sky has gotten me in almost every single like one. And I thought it would be funny. It would be funny if yet again Sky was forced to pick a show for me. Because literally, I think with the exception...
I've done it once.
Yeah, and then all the other ones, because like the BL one, I picked all of them. Like I think Sky's had me for all but one, so I thought it would be funny because this felt right. It felt right when I said it in my mind. But now we get to actually find out who picked what and to justify their picks. So who picked Sky's drama 20th Century Boy and Girl?
That was me. Which, I mean, I have watched this drama all the way through multiple times because it's very comfort watchy for me. But yeah, I don't know. We said school dramas, and it was like, as soon as we said that, every single school drama that I've ever watched went right out of my brain. So
I've never watched a school drama before in my life.
So I went to my drama list and went through my, like, what have I watched? And that's, like, right up at the top because it's, numbers instead of letters or whatever. And I was like, well, that's not a big school. School's a big part of that. And, like, it's definitely, but Sky probably watched it at this point. She must have watched it by now. And, and so I went and checked and was like, no, it's still in her plan to watch. And with Sky now, you have to go through 2 different accounts.
Yeah, she's consolidating to a new account.
I'm trying to fix that.
Yeah, get on that. No, I'm just kidding.
Which is fine, but, it was like, I'm like, oh, no, she hasn't, wait, I gotta go check the other one now first. But then I was like, but yeah, I thought, I know you like the actor. I know you, like, it just felt like Sky would enjoy this. And like you said, we have said it multiple times, and I sort of took a book out of that. I think the first time we did the drama exchange, where a couple of us were like, I just picked it because I want you to watch it. And
that's true.
So just watch it.
You know what? That's a fair reason for this.
So Ham and like K weren't an aspect of you picking it at all?
No, I can.
That was just a bonus. I got the bonus of that.
I remembered that plot line, but I didn't know who they were at the time that I watched it, right?
This was one of those dramas that you, Amanda, talked about very early on this podcast. So I associate this drama with you.
I do too, yeah.
So like I watched it. I think I watched it while it was airing. And then
I remember you being really, really
like
into
a
it,
year or two later. So, but yeah, it's just
it's a sweet
cozy.
show.
It just like worked out with San K.
Yeah,
that was a happy accident. Is what that was.
Because I was like, Soham, like in this like K fictional, what? And Soham has what is going on?
What's happening right now?
And then that character is like involved in the present time too. Okay, like things are happening.
Like, when I think about idol actors in that, I just think about the guy who plays her brother, who's really big and is from Gene or his name is Gene? I can't remember.
Cross Gene.
That's it. Yeah. So, and I just remember seeing him and thinking, I don't know who in the casting thought this is the right choice because he's so much bigger than everybody else in her family. Right?
That happens sometimes. That happens.
It definitely does. It's very cute. And yeah, so that's the only idol. I mean, I know the whole idol fan plot line, but it didn't. I think it was early enough in my drama watching that I didn't realize that they would almost always actually have
at least one.
Or like, they'll bring Monster X in to pretend to be this group for these 3 episodes or whatever, right?
Or like that's the one that I really like, Love with Flaws, where Astro's playing a fake group called High Five that one of the characters is a fan of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad that you have enjoyed that. Good.
Okay, me.
Okay, it was me. But listen.
It was Natalia, listeners.
Really
it was Natalia.
Natalia, it was me. Okay, I was really conflicted on it. Okay, because of all the things you said, because you do have a hard time with bullying, but there is something that you do love, and that is incredible acting.
Yeah.
And this show has some of the most incredible acting that I had seen in a while.
And truly, everyone acts their age.
Yeah.
Like, it feels real.
Mm-hmm. It feels
even though there is a lot of stuff that, like, even in a culture where bullying is very hardcore, there's some, like, kind of crazy stuff, but like it's
like this is pretty bad. Like this is actually like beyond the pale in this one. Like the inciting incident that makes him crack is so beyond the pale, so unbelievable.
But
like
it
actually is
essential to the entire story too.
But also, I know that you and I have enjoyed in the past dramas with unhinged people in them. Yeah. And the best part about this is the unhinged person is the hero of the show. Like, because usually it'll be like, oh, there's an unhinged villain. No, the villains are very much hinged. They're bad people, but they're hinged. But like, the hero, the hero,
they're hinged.
Actually crazy. And that's what people don't realize when they're dealing with him, because he's very polite and quiet. And I thought you would enjoy the acting, so I'm glad that you did get from it. Yeah, I'm glad that you did get from it what I hoped, because I was like sitting there like, what if she hates it? Like,
well, I had faith, and I think also it does help that the show is shorter episodes, and then shorter in general, with a number of episodes. So I do remember
the first time when I watched it, I did watch about 4 episodes, and then I needed to take a break because I was like, whoo, oh boy, this one's a rough ride. But I thought you would appreciate it. So.
Yeah, one of the things when we do this, if you start it out and you're like, you feel like you should push through a little bit, because we all know each other well enough to know that nobody's picking something intentionally to piss us off. Yeah. Right? So like
there's always something that they thought you could
get there eventually, or there must have been something that they thought I would like about this, right? So like
you at least you're trying to find that thread. What is the thing that I was supposed to see in this?
Why did they think I would like it? But it was like we've enjoyed, Jessie and I on many a hit list episode have enjoyed similar vibes. So I thought I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. That's really high for me. So I was like, we often in this genre have similar feelings.
That's true. It's very true. Yeah. You did good.
Whew, I was stressing about it a little bit.
So for Amanda,
it was me.
Jessie.
You know what? As soon as Amanda said Dream High, I was like, I know who had Amanda.
Because it wasn't me.
It was Jessie.
And I was like, I was so sure it was Natalia coming in until Jessie said Big Hero, and I was like, oh no, because Natalia picked Jessie. So I don't know. Wait,
and it could have been a double fake.
So,
and I still could have pulled it out of nowhere and been like, "Here, you have to watch that."
Big Hero. Here you go, Jessie. Like,
because Dream High is almost the level. Not that we're gatekeepers and people have to watch certain things, but Dream High is one of those things that a lot of people have. They say you have to experience it a little bit. Like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, you have to at least give it a glance.
A foundational document of the overlap of K-pop and K-drama fans.
But that's definitely not why I picked it for Amanda. It wasn't like foundational. So I'm not going to say that I liked Dream High, but I did watch the entire show. So like I do have that. And I was kind of toying with it with Amanda, but like I think that Dream High does some things that like are very surprising for that drama, and I didn't quite necessarily remember if you like where these things happen within the series. But like I really loved the way that Susie's character grew, especially with her friendship with IU. Like them together throughout the series is like kind of one of the best things about the series. So I thought that like there was a potential for Amanda to have liked this drama but never would have picked it for herself. And that's what I was getting from it. I was like, oh,
that's fair. And like knowing that, I might push through a little bit more because we haven't reached that at all, right? And and you haven't had a lot to do yet, but kind of have enjoyed her. So
it kind of also does level out in a bit to kind of be more just like a normal, not air quotes normal team show where it's kind of more like episodic, just like the funny things that they do, and like the everybody like does start to like develop like fun relationships with each other in terms of like, you know, teens doing it. And I also do think like it is fun, just like every episode you watch, there's just like more people you know, and you're like, what? Just in the background, you're like, what's the like
every time JYP, I expect him to like walk on the stage and go JYP.
And okay, so like I will say that JYP like is the like most annoying in this drama, not just because he like actually is. His character is like the annoying teacher who is like loves everyone. Like his character is supposed to be really like corny and annoying. But like I will say the one thing, the big thing, like the Dream High thing is like I'm fat, so of course I don't like really love this show because I use in a fat suit. And it's very much her weight is very much a thing in the drama. But like JYP has a line in the drama like where he talks about it like as like he's like, no, she's got like such great talent, we shouldn't like look at that sort of thing, when he actively looks at that sort of thing for his company
100% actively like, does that.
I was
shit.
like watching with like, this is you did this for every single JYP person who's in this drama. That contradicts what you do for your company.
I find that aspect of it is just that little bit extra uncomfortable when you know that IU has struggled with eating disordered, disordered eating and stuff, and it's like, you know, it just is a little extra like. Eh. But one thing I will say that did really strike me about the at the beginning of the drama is something that older K-dramas did really well that I don't think they do as much now. Is when they do a love triangle, they used to actually make it really solid. Like you could really see her winding up with
you
either
didn't know
of these
who
guys.
It was going to be.
Both of them are interesting. Both of them have
and they do carry like, that throughout. Like,
and like I don't love a love triangle, but if you're going to do it, like
make it seem legit.
Don't make one side weak and like, okay, that's obviously not going anywhere. Like, no, like give me a love triangle. And this, you know, feels very solidly like they're, you know, fighting over her and being friendly to her and stuff. And you're like, okay. I remember when my early dramas, I used to be like, I don't know who she's going to wind up with. And people would be like, no, you just have to go to my drama list. Whoever the guy on the top, that's who she winds up with.
Yeah.
Is it though? Because, you know.
Are you sure?
Yeah, like sometimes you're still like, really though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
fine,
also what what this drama does a lot too is it's very classically teen drama. Like it's very classic. So like when you're watching it like as an older adult, you're like, yeah, this is like me watching Saved by the Bell right now. You know, like you're like, oh yeah, like this is the antics of like teens. Like just doing stuff, and then like you're like, why are like the adults like this or just not even showing up? And then there's also the aspect of the performing arts thing, which has always been part of my life. So it was like, this is fun in those, and it does have a lot of stuff that you're like, ugh, definitely not okay for now, and definitely a product of her time. But I just like thought it would be like a fun thing to like even just try out, because I was like, there is this possibility that she might like actually kind of dig it for what it is. Because I was
Yeah,
surprised
It's like
how much
a
I
historical
more I liked it than I
document.
thought.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, enjoyment of older dramas that have large flaws. It's a little different than like when you look at like a newer drama that doesn't have these marked flaws, like these big aspects. Like, ee. So like when you are looking at older ones, like okay, given a little bit of passes, like again, not really passes, but like this is an older drama.
Yeah,
so.
No, and I mean, even when we decided on class, I was thinking, if Jessie gets me, how is she going to pick something that's not like, like there's a lot of Japanese like high school horror stuff.
Yeah.
I know she's going to look at that and go, no, like that's probably not going to Amanda very well.
No.
So, yeah.
I forget that I had another thing for you, and I don't remember what it was. Maybe I was gonna pick an anime. I might have like thought about doing an anime, but yeah. But I was
think
just
about that sometimes, and then I'm like, I feel like right now, even though if all of us watch anime, I feel like right now, if I pick an anime, everybody will be like, "Well, that was
obviously."
Now we're all gonna pick anime and just throw you off. Like, never know.
Roll for drama.
Keep them guessing.
I mean, it could be anime. Yeah, we could do that.
Well, Sky, we meet again.
Yeah. Whenever I got your name again, I'm like, are you kidding me? But the funny thing about it, and I've insisted this whole time we've done this exchange thing, which has been a year. Happy anniversary to us doing this.
Happy anniversary.
So even from square one, I have a little handful of dramas that I'm trying to make Natalia watch. Like
she say that eventually. So I'm resistant. It's just like I forget, and I need.
I know it's not that you reject it.
I'm like get your away from me, Scott.
But also sometimes it's she'll be in a moment and. We all go through moments in life like either we're busy or like, you're not, you got to be super light so you don't want the super dark stuff. Like, you go through. So Natalia sometimes goes through times. I'm not going to be like, Natalia, you need to go watch My Dearest whenever you are totally not vibing with historicals right now. But you need to, like, I'm not going to, not that I would have for this exchange, but as far as like, my whole point is, despite the fact that Natalia has watched a lot of dramas,
a questionable amount.
There are still ones that like I know that I can't really hold a candle to your numbers, but there are still ones that like I've seen or I've at least gotten halfway through that like I know it's like that's a Natalia one that she hasn't watched yet.
So she has like a little list, and she's like, "Oh, this is great." She's like, again. This one.
I do think it's funny that one time I was totally like, she needs to watch this. It was like we'd even talked about it when we watched it essentially together,
and I
so
had
really
and then I was like, I did watch it, so which actually threw me off that it was you who gave it to me that time.
There you go.
Because I was like, well, Sky and I watched it together and like discussed it, like obviously.
So she would have known.
Listen, I forgot that you and we forget things.
Yeah,
it happens.
So, but My Strange Hero, I have not finished. I think I've picked it up 2 separate times, and I've just gotten busy. Like, each time I think the last time I watched it was a couple years ago. I've gotten past halfway through at this point. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through. I just really enjoyed it, but then I always thought you would appreciate, like, the tone of it.
I do.
I gotta say, like, My Strange Hero, it is difficult to explain. I know that, like, Natalia did a good job explaining it, but as far as... It is one of those things that even if you read the thing or you hear the plot, you're like, that sounds really weird.
It's such an absurd, like, convoluted premise that it's just like, okay, like, it all started with a fake murder attempt. Things went wrong. Then there was a suicide, and then... But you're like, but it makes sense when you're watching it.
And like tonally, how it's usually kind of funny, but then sometimes it's very not funny.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's very serious. And what I could say is his character, like the lead character, is always very sincere. Like he's a very sincere character, and so like
a sincere fella. I do.
And there's a fair bit of action. I remember that first scene that you see him like breaking up a wedding. Like I feel like there was it a Michael Jackson song? There was some like American song that was playing. I was like, what is going on? Like this is crazy concept. A webtoon, like if I remember right, like which explains a lot of what is going on.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say it on MDL.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Has that vibe?
It really.
I'm gonna definitely finish it.
But even I've always wanted to tell you to watch it because like I periodically would bring it up once in a blue moon whenever she's like, I don't know what to watch next, once in a while, and I'd be like,
oh yeah, and then something shiny would happen,
and it's totally fine. But then whenever you started getting into that one actor like a lot more, like the past couple years, I was like, he's in that, and you haven't, like, I was kind of just waiting on you to pick. I figured you'd pick it up because of him at some point.
Come on, get it
together. So then it was like school. I like immediately was like, oh, this is for Natalia. Like,
here we go.
Yeah, you have to watch this now because you will like it. Like,
and I do.
And again, tonally, it is a very unique drama. Like,
yeah,
and I don't think everyone's gonna like it. I really don't. Like, there is more action in it than probably some people would appreciate. I really thought it was fun because I like that, but it's different. It's a different vibe.
I'm really enjoying it. I will be finishing it for show. Probably after we finish recording this, I'll probably go watch another couple episodes. So who knows? But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, I sensed your energy. I
will say, I was assuming you were gonna be like, "Oh, that's Sky," like because I've nagged you about it before.
Were you watching it when it was airing? I feel like you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was either if it wasn't like.
Because I do.
It might have been like the month after it aired. Like it was definitely around that time. I was trying to watch it like around the time it did air, and then I got distracted by life, and then I picked it up again. So like I started talking about it again like a year or two later, and then I still haven't finished it. It's fine. It's one of those that like
what will happen is I will finish it before Sky finishes.
Oh yes. I just accepted like. My life is always so weird with, like, I try to finish a drama, but it just doesn't happen. No matter how invested I am in the drama, sometimes I'm just not able to finish it for, like, 2 years. It's like, it's fine. It has nothing to do with how much I like or dislike a drama. It just has to do with, like, do I have time? Which often I don't. So, and then I'll just get fixated on some random drama that, like, I'm not even that into. It's fine. It's fine. It's just the way. It's chaotic.
That's just how life happens. That's just how life happens.
No.
Well, another successful drama exchange, ladies.
Fun. I loved it.
We went back to school.
Every time we do this, we have a good time.
Thanks, Joy.
Thank you, Joy. Let's put some W's in chat for Joy. This isn't being live streamed. There's no chat, but W's in chat for Joy. Big fan of that energy. And if you were a big fan of the energy of what you just witnessed, all of our episodes are wherever podcasts can be found. They're also on YouTube and video, though most people find us where podcasts can be found. I'm gonna be real. But if you want time codes and links to all the shows that we talked about, you should go to our website, certifiednoonas.com, because every single episode we've ever done has a post with where you can listen to the episode if you want to listen to it there, and then it has links and time codes for the whole thing, the whole shebang. Anyway, if you want to support this podcast, like so many wonderful people do, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Certified Found family. We are big fans of the Found family. They're great. They get little extra mini episodes. They get movie night, little extras here and there. We love their support. We think they're the best. Sending little finger hearts to everyone. Anyway, maybe you should check out one of these dramas we recommended if they sound fun to you. We do, all of us seem to enjoy them, so
Yeah.
Kudos. So go check those out. Have a safe week. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. And as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.